there was a 911 call here earlier.
I wasn't
But, like, no one knows who made it.
No.
The police showed up and they were like, there was a 911 call from this address. And I had nothing.
No.
Okay. Hi.
Hey, guys.
This is the Witches, Magic, Murder, Mystery Podcast.
I am Kara.
And I'm Megan.
Hey, all.
We're here. It's Happy Friday.
It's a happy Friday.
If you're listening to this on the day that it comes out, I'm on my way to New York.
Stop it.
With Ella.
Oh, my gosh.
I know. I'm so excited.
It is already time for that?
I know. We have to be at the school at 2:45 a.m. Friday morning.
You sure don't.
Ella's like, I just think I'm going to not go to sleep. I was like, oh my God, please go to sleep. Because you want to be able to enjoy it when we get to New York. You don't want to be so completely exhausted.
Yeah.
When we get there, though, I have my own hotel room.
What?
I know. I kept trying to find a roommate, but you know how I'm a hermit?
Yeah.
And so I don't know anybody.
Yeah.
And all the people that were going already had roommates. And so finally I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll room by myself. But I'm so...
Oh, my gosh.
Like, that's going to be so decadent.
Yeah.
It's like amazing.
What are you going to do with yourself? Just read and listen to podcasts and sleep and just sit there?
Well, I mean, I have to chaperone the whole thing.
Right.
But like at night, I'll be all by myself. And I can get up in the mornings and have my wonderful early mornings.
And your routine.
And I think our hotel is like right in Times Square. So I'm like, I could get up at 5 a.m. and like walk down and find coffee. And
yes. Wow.
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anywho.
There's my entire vacation plan. You're welcome.
You're welcome. And
this
Megan's
is a travel podcast.
So much fun. Oh, God. What if we did?
Kara has a full episode for
Full
each.
episode. And I don't really know if you want to call this a mystery because how the heck did these women do this for so long? But it was recommended in the podcast page forever ago on Facebook, and I am just now finishing it. So here we are.
Ooh, that reminds me, just in case you're listening and you're on the Patreon and you are waiting for your stickers, we got a message and I don't think I've replied to her yet. She was like, are you all running behind? Yes. For one, perpetually, forever running behind. On stickers, but we're like a month behind on stickers.
Yeah.
Because what happens is we use them all and then we have to wait for more to come in.
And shipping takes forever.
And you're like, Megan, couldn't you plan ahead and order them before you run out? You're right. I could.
But that's not how our life works.
I'm not a perfect person.
Okay, I call this the women gang.
Nice. I like them already.
Okay, so these ladies are called the 40 Thieves. They were doing most of their business in Elephant and Castle area of London.
Elephant. Their thievery business?
Yeah, in Elephant, London?
Is that the name of the town?
Yeah, sure. Sure.
Probably.
Yep. There's also an Elephant and Castle mob led by the McDonald brothers that they were in cahoots with.
With the woman gang?
And they were like, these mob brothers and all their guys were like, these women are badass.
Yeah.
Like, they can keep up with us. They're scary. They're amazing. They're so good at what they do.
The 40 Thieves.
Always spoke so highly of them.
Yeah. You know, it just makes me think of, I was at my mom's yesterday and she was watching some British show where it was like a group of private eyes that were all women, but it was set like in the 20s and 30s in England.
Oh, cool.
And, you know, it was like because they're women, you expect less of them.
Well, that's,
So they're even better at, you know, being sneaky.
Well, that's kind of what this is. Like, they would go to like super high-end stores and they would like raid those stores because people thought, well, no, like these women are in a high-end store. Why would they be here to do anything different? Because they would dress nice.
Yeah.
And
fancy people never do anything bad.
Never do anything bad. And then they'd also dress as like housekeepers and they would go to houses and apply for jobs and they'd get the jobs because they sounded smart and like they knew what they were doing. So
that's how I've gotten every job ever.
Just fake it.
Fake it till you make it.
Fake it until you just, people don't pay attention.
Yeah.
Okay. So these ladies operated from the 1870s to what this says 1950s in this article, but there was another article I saw that said like the 1990s.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a secret society
exactly.
of badass women.
Yeah.
Oh my, can we resurrect it here?
Let's do it.
You all didn't hear a thing.
But we're not going to steal things. We're going to
be
like Robin Hood.
And we get to live in Sherwood Forest. Perfect.
Amazing. Doing it. Okay, so early 20th, wow, words, 20th century, Alice Diamond led the gang. She was also known as like the Queen of 40 Thieves or Diamond Annie because she wore like extravagant diamonds on her fingers.
Yeah. Diamond Annie.
Mm-hmm. She started shoplifting as a child, so she was real skillful. She got arrested at age 17. And she wore her diamonds as makeshift brass knuckles. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It said she was like beautiful. She's 5'9". And at that time, the average man was like 5'6". So she was like towering over them.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like brass knuckle Annie
That's
over here.
interesting.
Brass diamond knuckle Annie.
I didn't know average
That's
height
what it
was
says.
shorter. That's interesting.
Yeah. And also it said thieves during that time were like older. So
Mhm.
she's over here like doing her thing, young, hip, beautiful woman.
You know,
Nobody suspects a thing of her.
I do recognize my complete internal bias because if we were talking about men right now,
Oh,
I would
yeah,
be
yeah,
rolling
yeah.
my eyes and be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
ugh, okay.
Okay,
But because it's a woman, I'm like, look at her.
I know, exactly.
So I do recognize that, you guys.
Right.
Nobody needs to point it out to me.
No. But also, look at her.
Well, because
This is a man's
this is a
world.
woman doing something completely outside the norm
Yeah.
for men. I mean, for women. Whereas a man being aggressive
Mhm.
and going out and being bold and
Mhm.
dangerous and doing things like
Yep.
this, that's not unusual. But a woman doing it is like, oh, and I always love that.
Yep.
Just like if there was a man who was boldly living his life as a woman that we were talking about right now, I'd love him too. So, you know.
Exactly. The group was also known to be like super trendy with their styles.
Mm.
They constantly kept up with all the trends. They were like really fashionable and like all pretty women and stuff. And so like nobody ever suspected anything of them. It said that they started on a large scale, not only on like the west end of London, but they also went like across the country to do all of their little deeds. So
Little deeds.
yes, and they said like this article, several of the articles said that if they came across other gangs trying to do their jobs, they would make them pay them dues. Yeah, they would make them pay them.
And they're such a
dues.
big, well-respected gang. I guess they could do that.
They also forced other gangs to like obey by their rules.
Wow.
And if they didn't obey by their rules, they'd punish them.
Oh
So I guess like all gangs around town knew. It said they had a set of rules.
It's like in Newsies. You don't mess with Brooklyn.
Oh gosh.
You don't mess with Brooklyn.
Exactly.
You get spot Conlon.
She created what she called the Hoisters Code. It was a code of conduct that outlined the democratic manner in which the gang operated, including the equal division of money from job heists, an expectation for the gang to care for the family members of imprisoned thief,
Oh my God, I
and
love
for
that.
the women to always provide alibis for each other. And Diamond would beat them, ridicule or beat them if they disobeyed. There are also others like you can't steal money and you can't steal other members' boyfriends.
We have girl code, okay?
Okay, exactly.
There will be
And then-
honor.
Yes. It's so funny. But also, like, you couldn't wear the stuff that you stole. They would flip it.
Oh.
So then in turn, they'd use that money to buy themselves lavish things.
They were basically just stealing to get
Mm-hmm.
things for themselves,
Yeah.
then, basically,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And then, like I said, they would take care of imprisoned members' families and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that wild? Several people have been identified. There was like 70 direct members between the 1920s and the 1930s that they have like names for. So
Okay.
that's pretty cool. It says that the gang was still in existence after World War II. Like I mentioned earlier, like some articles said until 1992.
That's incredible.
It's so wild. They were able to meet equal numbers of men in battle. Like I mentioned earlier, their male counterparts like loved them. They just thought so highly of them. They were like, man, these
Mhm.
women are badass. Like,
Mhm.
what? This is so cool. And they also like partnered with them on things occasionally too. One of the earliest things that they found on the gang of like how they operate and stuff is newspapers that date back to 1873. It says that female shoplifters also have been active in the area since the late 18th century. So they don't know if it was a part of that gang or if it was just like female shoplifters because she started when she was 17.
Yeah.
So who knows? Okay, so they modified their clothes because when did pockets start in women's clothes? I don't know.
No idea.
But they put pockets in their clothes.
Oh, yeah. And you would expect it because it wasn't standard to have.
Yes.
That's so sneaky.
So it said they would hide their loots in their coats or like their muffs or their skirts or like hats or something. So they'd go to these large stores and they would kind of like crowd the desk that had like jewelry and stuff. And so this one worker would be like running around trying to appease all these women, trying to try on all these like rings and necklaces and stuff. And they would just like hand them back to the women behind them.
Yeah.
And so the women behind them would put stuff in their pockets. And then they'd be like,
a quick change.
Yeah. And then they'd be like, thanks for showing me. And then they'd just walk off. But the person would be so frazzled trying to help the other women. She wouldn't realize that stuff wasn't there anymore.
Right.
So it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
No, don't steal. But
no, it's not that cool.
Right.
But they were smart.
And like I said, the front woman wouldn't have it on her. So if police were like to search her, she'd have nothing and she'd be free to go.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't think anything of the other woman wandering around that didn't come up to the counter.
Right. Because you don't think they're connected.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? They earned enough money to financially support their husbands or partners or whatever. And so it says that they would just hang out at home or they were inmates in the British prison system.
Oh.
Like they just were the homemakers, which was not normal for the
Or
time.
inmates.
Yeah. They could have been from the other gang. And the other gang was like, my lady's out there taking care of me.
She's working.
She's working. She's got this. I've got plenty of snacks in here because of her. So they eventually became known in these high-end stores, and so they start getting recognized. So they had to move around. And like it said that their presence would cause panic. And so...
Oh, God, they're here.
Yeah, exactly.
The hot, smart women are here. That still causes a panic, really.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Every time I walk in a room, people freak.
People just fall on the floor. You're like, oh, my God. And start convulsing because they don't know what to do. So they were like, God, everybody keeps noticing us. And so they're like, we're just going to go all over town and all over pretty much the country and just steal elsewhere because there's other high-end stores that don't know about us.
Yeah.
Y'all quit looking at us.
They catch attention because they all dress so well and, are so smart. So that's kind of hard to fly under the radar for very long.
Like I mentioned earlier, they would also take on jobs as like housekeepers. So they would dress for that part, but then they would also blackmail individuals. So they would seduce men, have brief affairs with them. They were well-known men. And then they would blackmail them for money.
Interesting.
Alexander Hamilton.
Yeah. Say no to this.
Okay, they also... Cars were a big thing. Like as they started being more and more common, they would get really fast cars to toss their stuff into and get away.
Nice.
They also took the train. They would just dump their stuff in like a car and like a train car and take off that way with all their suitcases filled with goods.
Sweet.
People started comparing them to like movie stars because they were like fun and fancy and free.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so everybody knew about them and everybody, like, they started living a more, like, super lavish life. Like, instead of just, like, wearing the things, they were involved in the things. So they were invited to be at all these cool parties and do all these cool things. Yeah.
In the 20s, like we're talking about here, being a movie star, like the whole Hollywood lifestyle was pretty crooked. Like, it was pretty much ran by the mafia, like whole film companies. So
yeah.
Let's let whatever that is go by too.
Yeah.
A friend of mine on Facebook, he's an author. His name's Jeff Zentner, so people have probably heard of him because he's had a couple of really big books. And when I say friend, we've never had a conversation. We're just connected on Facebook because we both wrote books. But he posts really funny stuff, and he posted something the other day that he's like, do you think a man has ever actually gotten to have sex because he revved his engine really loud?
Okay, so they would use some of their funds to hand out to the people in the gang and be like, go to this party, go live your life, go do your thing. And then they would also host super lavish parties and invite all the celebrities and all the cool people. So people loved them. So then they didn't want them to get arrested.
Yeah.
So everybody just had
like this protected.
They had this code. But some did get arrested and then they were convicted. but their sentences would always be super short. So they would either do like 12 months to 3 years. And then once they're released, they're returned. Like they just go back to the gang.
Yeah.
So they're
course.
not,
There's no big reason to stop. I mean,
yes. Yeah. So it says that one gang member, Ada Wellman, was arrested in 1921, and then she was still with the gang and arrested for another offense in 1939.
So you'd be pretty old then. Like you could stay, because that's 20 years that go by.
Yep. Diamond started having some issues as she had been with the gang for a while. She was just super into making sure that she had control over everything and over everyone. So she got a little full of herself. And there was a member that was with someone and she didn't approve of him. But these two decided to get married. It was Marie Britton. In 1925, she broke the code. She married somebody that Diamond didn't approve of.
Oh.
Ran away and was like, I'm done with this gang. Diamond was like, heck yeah, you're not doing this.
Get out.
Yeah. So then she was like, I'm not happy about this. You're pregnant. I'm drunk. So I'm going to make a fool of myself, pretty much.
Who? Queen?
Diamond.
I mean, Diamond Queen's going to make a fool of herself?
Yeah, she did. So she's super mad, drunk, wasty pants, convinced several of the members to go with her, attack Marie and the husband.
But she's pregnant.
So they broke into the home, bottles, rocks, chunks of concrete, beat the husband, and then made Marie watch.
Oh.
And so that attack was known as the Lambeth Riot, and Diamond got arrested, and Maggie Hill, her partner in crime, got arrested as well.
I don't find them as endearing anymore.
No. So, but I mean, the beginning's really cool.
Yeah, the beginning's cool, but it does seem like after a while, this woman got a little power hungry.
Yes.
Because it didn't have to be like this. You could have just been like, okay, go live your life. We have plenty of other gang members. But it's just like, how dare you defy me? Which you're not, you're just a person.
So Diamond's in prison for 18 months. There's a new queen.
I bet that goes well.
Took over. It was one of her little proteges, Shirley Pitts.
Shirley.
And she was the queen of the gang in the 1960s. Can you imagine that time?
Yeah, I was going to say, I bet that gang in the 60s was amazing.
Oh, it was a hot mess. But also, it said in several of the articles, they had to change up their ways because the 1960s, you can't wear the clothes you wore in the 1920s.
Oh, no. Yeah.
No. You barely wore clothes in the 1960s. I was
going to say, if they stayed up on their times. Oh, yeah. So they wouldn't have the pockets and the stuff to hide things in. Oh,
they had to change their ways of doing stuff. Diamond decided she was going to run a brothel.
The new Diamond? Or the
old? No, the old Diamond.
Okay.
She was like, well, I can't be in this gang anymore. I'm going to go run a brothel and teach these ladies how to be thieves.
Oh.
So she tried to start her own little thing.
So it's like a preparatory school for women.
Yes, exactly. She was like, we're going to be disguised as this, but you're actually going to do this.
Nice.
Yeah. But that didn't get as big. And it said that Pitts, Shirley, died in 1992. So that's where it says, like, well, maybe this was still active until 1992 when the last queen was there.
Because for as long as she's alive, like, why would it have ended?
Yeah. It said that by the time that Shirley died, that the 40 elephants were more of just like talk about the town instead of like people actually like getting arrested and doing gang-like activities.
So the 40 elephants is what they were called by that time?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So they were just like, maybe they were still around, maybe they weren't, but maybe they were and you just didn't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they still are and you just don't know.
Well, I was about to say that.
In the 40 elephants.
Please call us.
We need to know. We want to join.
I won't tell anybody.
We want to join you.
I'm very hip. I'm very smooth and suave all the time.
Yes.
Don't know if you've noticed.
Don't know if y'all know anything.
Yeah, that's really cool.
There's these ladies.
It's just interesting to think about because when you think of gangs from history, you don't think of a bunch of well-dressed, sophisticated women. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, and thanks for whoever suggested that story.
Yeah, it was I need to look it up. It was a post on Facebook.
Yeah. Okay.
Really cool.
Thank you all for listening.
We love you all so much.
Oh, wait,
don't not goodbye. Not goodbye.
Wanted to tell you all. We talked about this on Instagram, but I was going to tell you all in the episode too. We got awesome package from Hunt the Killer. You guys
my
know the
gosh.
board game where you get to solve.
I think
a crime.
I mentioned it a couple episodes back how I was played it with my sisters and loved it.
Yeah.
And you said something about kiddos.
I'd gotten Lauren a 6-month subscription for
Yeah.
Christmas. My kids have just, it's hard to buy Christmas gifts for teenagers.
Oh, it's so
They all
hard.
just want money, which I understand, but I
Right.
like to have a thing.
Right, same.
And so I decided to get them like mail order things. So they get kind of little gifts throughout the year, which sounded really fun to me.
Yeah.
So I got Ella a FabFitFun box
Oh, which she
for a year.
loves, 'cause
Yeah.
she's
Oh
so
my God.
into
She's such a skincare fanatic. She's all into
perfumes.
self-care and girly things.
Oh, yeah. That's Soph, too.
And
She
then
and Soph are
Lauren,
so much alike.
I know, I love it.
It's so cute.
Lauren, I got her a 6-month subscription to Hunt the Killer, and we've really
She and
loved
Willow
it.
were so much alike.
Yes. Yeah, and it's really great. It's just a cool way to get to hang out with your kids. And even if you don't have kids, it's a cool way to hang out with anybody.
Yeah.
So they gave us a discount code.
Yeah.
So we'll put these in the show notes too. But just to tell you all, it's HuntGA1010, which gives you $10 off any item. HuntGA10, which is 10% off order. And HuntGA20, which gives you 20% off a 6-month or 12-month subscription. So if you go to the Hunt Killer website and you place an order, you can just use those and, it's a little gift to you. So like I said, we'll put them in the show notes so you guys can find it there.
It's so much fun to play.
Yeah. Okay.
Goodbye.
Oh, we love you.
Oh, so much. Goodbye. Okay, what are we saying?